Are you concerned about the new opponent, Omar Salcido? He's eating, get ready for his style. Listen, I'm ready. And he fights anyone, anytime, and he fights the same way. I'm loving Pitbull.
Boxing fans, we've got a fight that's generating buzz. Lamont Roach Jr. versus Isaac Pitbull Cruz. On paper, it's a super featherweight clash between a technical boxer and a relentless pressure fighter. But when you really break it down, this fight might not be as competitive as it looks. Today we are diving deep into the styles, the resumes, and the intangibles to explain why this matchup could turn into a one-sided affair. Lamont Roach Jr., a slick and composed technician from Washington, D.C., comes into this fight with a record that shows consistency. He's patient, he's measured, and he's always looking for the clean, sharp shot. On the other side, you've got Isaac Pitbull Cruz, the fan-favorite pressure fighter from Mexico, known for his ferocity, non-stop volume, and bulldog mentality inside the ring. This isn't just a clash of records, it's a clash of styles. And when you match them up head-to-head, one man has a clear advantage that will dictate the pace of this fight. Let's start with Lamont Roach. Roach is fundamentally sound, but he's often labeled as too safe. He works behind a jab, looks for counters, and rarely takes risks. This works against mid-tier opposition, but against a relentless pressure fighter like Cruz, safety can quickly turn into survival mode. Statistically, Roach averages a low punch output. He prefers to throw in the 30 to 40 punches per round range, focusing on accuracy over volume. The problem? Against someone like Cruz, who throws closer to 70 to 80 punches a round, those numbers simply don't add up. Roach has decent pop, but he's not known as a knockout artist. In fact, out of all of his wins, very few have come against top-tier names. When he stepped up in competition, like against Jamal Herring in 2019, he came up short, showing his struggles against fighters who push the pace and apply pressure. Now, Isaac Cruz is built for chaos. He thrives when the ring turns into a phone booth. The Mexican fighter has a squat, compact frame, making him hard to push back. He's explosive, he's aggressive, and most importantly, he doesn't stop. Think back to his fight with Gervonta Tank Davis. Despite losing a decision, Cruz gave Tank one of the toughest fights of his career. His pressure, his chin, and his sheer willpower made him a household name overnight. Since then, Cruz has bulldozed opponents with his relentless style, breaking them down mentally and physically. Cruz doesn't mind getting hit. In fact, he often walks through shots to land his own. Against someone like Roach, who doesn't carry fight-changing power, that strategy is only going to work in Cruz's favor. This fight is the definition of a style makes fights match up. Roach wants distance, patience, and clean boxing. Cruz wants to suffocate his opponent, cut off the ring, and overwhelm them with volume. Now, here's the key. Roach does not have the foot speed or the defensive reflexes to keep Cruz off him for 12 rounds. Roach likes to stand and pick his shots, but that's exactly what Cruz thrives on. If you're not moving constantly, Cruz will trap you against the ropes, pin you in the corners, and unload combinations. The fight dynamic looks like this. If Roach stays on the back foot, he'll be running and reacting all night. If he tries to exchange, Cruz will overwhelm him with pressure and power. Either way, it's a style clash that heavily favors Cruz.
Any other fight, it's not just Pitbull. It's like any fight. I'm always looking to.
Another factor is the physicality. Cruz is simply stronger, sturdier, and more explosive. Roach has respectable skills, but he often gets bullied in the clinch and on the inside. Cruz lives on the inside. Cruz also carries legitimate knockout power. He might not be a one-punch KO artist at the elite level, but his shots have thudding impact that wear opponents down. Roach, on the other hand, rarely hurts fighters at the top level. That means Cruz can march forward with confidence, knowing that Roach won't have the firepower to discourage him. This creates a mental gap. Cruz will fight fearless, while Roach will constantly feel the pressure of trying to survive. Over 12 rounds, that gap only widens. To be fair, Roach does have a path to victory. If he can establish his jab early, use lateral movement, and keep Cruz turning, he could rack up points and frustrate the Mexican brawler. A disciplined, Mayweather-esque game plan could give him some success. But here's the problem. Roach has never shown that kind of consistent output or discipline over 12 rounds against elite pressure. He tends to fall into lulls, throws too little, and get caught standing in front of his opponent. Against Cruz, those mistakes will be fatal. So here's the bottom line.
I'm gonna be strong as hell. So that's all I can say. I'm gonna be super strong. I have more room to work with. I have less weight to cut.
This fight will be one-sided because Roach's style plays directly into Cruz's hands. Roach doesn't have the firepower to keep Cruz honest, doesn't have the foot speed to run for 12 rounds, and doesn't have the inside game to survive the trenches. Cruz will apply pressure from round 1, cut off the ring, and slowly break Roach down. By the mid to late rounds, I see Cruz dominating, possibly scoring a stoppage if Roach fades. Even if it goes the distance, it's hard to imagine Roach winning more than 2 or 3 rounds. Lamont Roach Jr. is a solid fighter, but this matchup is tailor-made for Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Expect a showcase performance from the Mexican Warrior, one that reminds fans why he's one of the most dangerous pressure fighters in boxing today. But what do you think? Am I underestimating Lamont Roach's skill set? Or is this truly going to be a one-sided fight? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep boxing breakdowns.